Hey guys, it's Haley and welcome to another bookish video. Today I am filming a long overdue video and we are going to be going through my entire physical TBR. So I don't know if you can see, but I have about 6 stacks of just massive amounts of books behind me. And I'm basically just gonna be showing you every single physical book I own. Obviously, this isn't going to include my audiobook library that I have on my phone or my Kindle library that I have on my Kindle. So I might have talked about other books in the past that are on my TBR, my owned TBR, and you're like, where are they? They might be there, but today we're just going through all of this monstrosity behind me, and I'm going to completely reorganize my TBR cart after this, which I'm so looking forward to. But for now, let's just go through, I would probably estimate the 200 books that I have on my physical TBR. I actually forgot about doing this video this year. I filmed one at the beginning of 2021 and I will link that above and below if you missed it. And I just basically showed you every single physical book on my TBR. I had these big dreams. I was like, oh, I'll do this at the beginning of every year. And then you guys can like be in the comments, tell me exactly what I have that you want to see me read. So I don't have to go buy books and spend money. Instead, y'all can just tell me what you want to see from this video and I can give it to you because it's literally right there. Did I do that at the beginning of 2022? No. But you know what? March is better late than never, so I'm giving it to you. And honestly, completely forgot about this video if it wasn't for my booktube bestie, Jess from Books Past Bedtime. She just posted a video like this last month, and it was one of the most entertaining videos that I've ever watched. And I was sitting there like, didn't I have plans to film one of these? Like, this is a really cool video. And I remember that I promised you I would do one every year. Well, better late than never. Let's go ahead and get started. The first stack of books I'm going to be going through are the ones that I'm most likely to read first and the ones that I've put on TBRs most recently. So we have Beyond Reach by Karen Slaughter. This is the last book in the Grant County series, and I've been honestly putting off reading it because I don't want the series to end. I really love this series, and it's just basically intense, investigative thrillers, super graphic. We all know we love Karen Slaughter. I also have A Ladder to the Sky by John Boyne in this stack. This was recently sent to me from my Amazon wish list from a subscriber that I really trust. So I will definitely be getting to it soon because the last recommendation that I got from this person became my top best favorite book of all time. So prioritizing this, it is a thriller with super high stakes about an author that I think plagiarizes other people's stories. Then I have One Night on the Island by Josie Silver. This is a isolated setting, forced proximity romance. We have 12 Nights at Rotter House by J.W. Ocker. This is a haunted house horror book. Hook, Line, and Sinker by Tessa Bailey, which is a contemporary romance in the Bellinger Sisters series. Reminders of Him by Colleen Hoover, which is a romance about a single mom who just got out of prison. It's more of a women's fiction than it is a romance, following our main character in her development. Float Plan by Trish Dollar. This is a romance about a woman who is processing the grief in the loss of her fiance, and she decides to take a boat trip that they had planned together, and she has a budding romance with her sailor guy, her like skipper, her mate. I don't know. What do they call that? I'm not sure. Then we have The Collective by Allison Galen. This is a thriller about mothers who find a creative way to avenge their children's deaths. We have The Paris Apartment by Lucy Foley. This is another classic Lucy Foley locked door mystery where you have all of these different people that live at the apartment complex. Everyone's a neighbor, everyone's a suspect, everyone knows something they're not telling. I am so excited for this one. Let's just move on to the next stack. The rest of these are gonna be in pretty much completely random order. There might be some similar genres together, but I didn't do this with any kind of organization whatsoever. So we have Fallen, Fractured, and Undone, all by Karen Slaughter. These are all part of her Will Trent series. It's a series of detective thriller novels that are, again, super, super graphic and dark. We have Emergency Contact by Mary H.K. Choi. This is a YA romance set in Austin, Texas. We have Dear Evan Hansen, the novelization of the Broadway show about an anxiety-ridden teen who ends up getting involved with somebody who he should not have been involved with. We have The Astonishing Color of After by Emily X.R. Pan, not quite sure on the pronunciation on that. Y'all, I have tried to read this book multiple times now, and it is so depressing. So it stays on the TBR. It will be read eventually, but at a time when I'm not wanting to die. We have Untamed by Glennon Doyle. This is a Christian queer woman's nonfiction account of coming into herself, and it has advice for other Christian queer women, but I've heard it has a lot of white feminism in it. I don't know. I'm borrowing my friend's copy so I can give you the tea on it. Also have The Heart Principle by Helen Huang. This is an emotional romance in the Kiss Quotient series. The Unraveling of Cassidy Holmes by Elisa R. Sloan. This is following the tragic fall of an iconic 2000s pop star. Obviously, it's fictionalized. It's really similar to Daisy Jones and the Six. Next up, we have The Death of Vivek Oji by Awaiki Emezi. And this follows Vivek Oji, who struggles with their mental health and the story of how they were murdered. Next up, we have Blacktop Wasteland by S.A. Cosby. This is a mystery thriller about a heist, and it follows a getaway driver, I think. We have Spoiler Alert by Olivia Dade. This is a contemporary romance about a fangirl and the person that she's a fan of, I think. We have Happiness for Beginners by Catherine Center, about a woman who goes on a nature retreat and falls in love with the tour guide. Truth Be Told by Kia Abdullah. This is the sequel to Take It Back. Heartbones by Colleen Hoover. This is a summery contemporary romance. We have Stillhouse Lake and Kilman Creek, both by Rachel Kane, about a woman and her children escaping her ex-husband slash father of the children, who is a serial killer. We Are All the Same in the Dark by Julia Heberlin. This is a mystery about missing girls. Later by Stephen King is a mystery following a possibly telepathic child. He has like special abilities and he helps the police. I also have Dolores Claiborne by Stephen King with this fucking iconic photo on the back. A classic horror by the king himself. We have Please Ignore Vera Diet by A.S. King. This is a murder mystery, I think with some contemporary elements and elements of mental health representation. We have What Alice Forgot by Liane Moriarty. This is about a woman who I think was in a coma and loses 10 years of her life. The Rosie Project by Graham Simsian. This is a romance with autism rep. Evie Drake Starts Over by Linda Holmes. This is a kind of women's fiction contemporary story following Evie Drake after a divorce, I believe. We are steadily working our way. We've cleared out an entire stack. On to the next. Please don't fall, please don't fall, please don't fall, please don't fall. We have Velocity by Dean Koontz, which is a serial killer investigative thriller. The House on Trad Street by Karen White, which is a cozy southern investigative thriller. The Husband's Secret by Liane Moriarty, which is another domestic thriller. It takes place in Australia. We have another Liane Moriarty. This is the hypnotist love story about a hypnotist who usually gives love advice to other people, but this is her time to feel the hypnotist vibes for herself, ? Allegedly by Tiffany D. Jackson. This is a YA thriller about a girl, I think, who is accused of killing a child. Agatha Christie's Death on the Nile. This is a classic Agatha Christie murder mystery about a death that occurs on a cruise ship. The adaptation's about to come out for this one, so I'm definitely getting it to this soon so I can stream it. We have the 3rd edition of Scary Stories, and these are just the little tiny like nostalgic scary story books that I read at night when I want to just like have a little cute time. As Good as Dead by Holly Jackson. This is the 3rd book in the Good Girl's Guide to Murder series. White Smoke by Tiffany D. Jackson, which is a YA horror about a haunted house. Her Every Fear by Peter Swanson, which follows a UK domestic thriller plotline. probably about a woman with mental health issues that aren't accurately represented because it's Peter Swanson. The Other Black Girl by Zakiya Dalila Harris. This is a thriller that kind of has Get Out vibes. The Roanoke Girls by Amy Engel. This is a super disturbing short thriller. Mine by J.L. Butler is a romantic suspense with legal elements. We Are the Brennans by Tracy Lang is a contemporary family drama. A History of Wild Places by Shay Earnshaw is a fantastical, magical realism-esque thriller. A Flicker in the Dark by Stacey Willingham is another thriller about missing girls. Razorblade Tears by S.A. Cosby is the story of two dads' journey to avenge the deaths of their sons. Reckless Girls by Rachel Hawkins is a loose and then there were none retelling set in a summery destination. The Plot by Jean Humph Corlitz follows a professor who steals a plot from a dead student of his. Dark Roads by Chevy Stevens is also a thriller about missing girls. The Chase by Elle Kennedy is a new adult college hockey romance. The Last Thing He Told Me by Laura Dave is a mystery thriller set in Austin, Texas. For Your Own Good by Samantha Downing is a serial killer POV kind of darkly comedic thriller. Next stack, let's go. We're like marathoning these books. This is so fun. We have Miracle Creek by Angie Kim. This is a sci-fi thriller with magical realism elements, I believe. Reconstructing Amelia by Kimberly McCreight, which is a legal thriller. Mother by S.E. Lines, which is a British domestic thriller. Kill the Boy Band by Goldie Moldavsky, which is a YA thriller about a group of fangirls who kidnaps a boy band. Perfect Little World by Kevin Wilson, which is a story about a psychologist who has dark secrets and maybe grim intentions about the experiment that he invites new mothers to participate in. The Dinner by Herman Koch by Coach. Not sure. This whole video is just exposing me for not knowing how to pronounce anyone's name. This is a darkly comedic contemporary about two families who have a dinner meeting about their two teenage sons' behavior. The Authenticity Project by Claire Pooley is about 6 strangers who are all connected by a journal that they find in a coffee shop. I Was Told It Would Get Easier by Abby Waxman is a coming-of-age story about a girl as she transitions from high school to college and goes on a road trip with her mother. Station 11 by Emily St. John Mandel is a sci-fi dystopian-esque kind of isolated snowy book about a traveling symphony. We have quite a few Chuck Palahniuk books. First we have Tell All, then we have Diary, Survivor, and Lullaby, and all of these are just weird. Could not tell you what genre Chuck Palahniuk fits into, but he is a weirdo and I love him for it. Next up, we have Written in the Stars and Hang the Moon, both by Alexandria Bellafleur. They are both queer contemporary romances. 99% Mine by Sally Thorne, about 2 people who are working on restoring an inherited house and they fall in love. The X Talk by Rachel Lynn Solomon follows an enemies to lovers story about fake exes on a podcast who then become real lovers. We have Coraline by Neil Gaiman, which I intended to read at Halloween and I did not, so this is for next Halloween. The Secret History by Donna Tartt, another one that I've started countless times but just cannot finish. It is a really slow-paced dark academia murder mystery. We have Broken by Karen Slaughter, The Silent Wife by Karen Slaughter, and The Last Widow, also by Karen Slaughter. These are all books in the Will Trent series. We have Concrete Rose by Angie Thomas, which is the prequel to The Hate U Give, and On the Come Up by Angie Thomas, which is a YA coming-of-age story about a female rapper. I also have 2 paranormal thrillers by Simone St. James. We have The Sundown Motel and The Broken Girls. These are both dual timeline paranormal thrillers. And we have the big girl here, S/ Ship of Theseus by V.M. Straka. This is a huge undertaking, kind of like House of Leaves-esque book within a book, and I'm gonna need to like set out some time to really dedicate to this one. We have The Green Mile by Stephen King, which this is the most beat up, used, and abused copy I've ever seen. I don't know what this is. It's probably a horror book. I have Still Missing and Those Girls, both by Chevy Stevens. These are both thrillers about missing girls. I have Too Late to Say Goodbye by Anne Rule, which is a classic true crime book. Her Last Move by none other than John Mars, which is a thriller. It's in the UK about a woman running from a man who's probably toxic. He Started It by Samantha Downing, which is a thriller about two siblings who go on a road trip to collect their inheritance. The Five People You Meet in Heaven by Mitch Albom, which I think is a Christian story. Molly Moon's Incredible Book of Hypnotism by Georgia Bing, which is a middle grade fantastical mystery about Molly and her pug. Anne of Green Gables by L.M. Montgomery. I've never read this. Obviously, it's a children's story, but I really want to be a part of it and know if this is something I want to read to my kids. The Picture of Dorian Gray by Oscar Wilde, which is a classic that I've been wanting to get to. The Mothers by Britt Bennett, which is a historical fiction about intergenerational trauma. The Testaments by Margaret Atwood, which is the follow-up to The Handmaid's Tale. Dear Mrs. Bird by A.J. Pierce, which is a historical fiction about a women's advice column writer in the newspaper. The Sound of Gravel by Ruth Werner, which is a memoir about a woman who escapes a cult. Becoming by Michelle Obama, which is Michelle Obama's memoir. The Knockout Queen by Ruthie Thorpe, which is a contemporary story about like an it girl. Maybe You Should Talk to Someone by Lori Gottlieb. This is a very controversial mental health nonfiction, and I want to get my opinions on it. The Last Time I Saw You by Liv Constantine. This is a domestic thriller set in the suburbs about rich people. 56 Days by Catherine Ryan Howard. I've heard very bad things about this COVID isolated thriller, but maybe I'll do like a drunk reading vlog slogging my way through this book. Let me know if you'd want to see drunk reading vlogs of any of these books. Are they bad? Do you want to see me roast them while drinking wine? Let me know. I also have How Lucky by Will Leach. This is a contemporary mystery about, I think, a disabled person. Yes, it has a chronic illness rep, and our chronically ill main character witnesses a murder that takes place outside of his window. Interesting. Making my way through, we are on to our last stack. We have The Dry by Jane Harper, which is a mystery thriller that will probably be slow and boring, and why do I own this? The Sister's Chase by Sarah Hailey, which is another thriller about missing girls or girls on the run. Cross Her Heart by Sarah Pinborough, about a single mother and her daughter as their lives begin to unravel. The Lion's Den by Catherine St. John is a rich people drama murder mystery, and I just realized that I have this. I am moving it up my TBR. Hidden Things by Jamie Mason. This is another thriller, I think, about social media, like a post going viral, something like that. The Other Mrs. Miller by Allison Dixon. This is a bitch I'm gonna snatch your life thriller. The Lies We Told by Camilla Way. This is a dark psychological suspense thriller. Friend Request by Laura Marshall is another thriller that involves social media stalking. And the last books I have to show you are all in my Jane Austen box set, which comes with 6 of her most popular novels: Sense and Sensibility, Pride and Prejudice, Emma, Northanger Abbey, Persuasion, and Mansfield Park. All right, I am now going to count. I want a final count. I'm gonna count these books. That was almost exactly 150 books. Now I'm going to reorganize my entire TBR cart. Wow, this is gonna be a big undertaking, but I will go ahead and show you the final product when I'm done. Okay, this is the newly organized cart. And I know it still looks a little ridiculous. Listen, I gotta move. Once we move, it'll get a lot better. But basically, ignore all this. This is like, I have things sectioned out for videos, so like literally ignore that. But I have all my Karen Slaughters in the Will Trent series right here, so I can keep track of which ones I have. And all the Jane Austens down here. On the bottom shelf, I have thriller backlist titles in the back, contemporary and romance in the front. Then here, this one got kind of chaotic. I have some book of the month books I didn't know how to categorize back there, my nonfiction back there, YA, and these 2 random Chevy Stevens books. And then all these in the front and on the top are highly anticipated romances, because I just want to be able to look at my TBR cart and say, okay, yeah, those 4, the ones laying and Heartbones right there, like, if I just need something to pick up, I'm gonna be satisfied by that. And then up here, I kind of made my most anticipated section. So these are all children's books, easy reads. These are kind of my most anticipated smaller books. And then in the back, stacked up right here, are my most anticipated hardcover books. So this is the cart alongside one of my shelves, which I have had to start double stacking my thrillers and stacking them on top. Like, I need to move. We need to move. But this is how it is for now. When I move, I will be sure to do, oh my God, my hair from organizing. I will be sure to do a video series chronicling building my library there, which I'm so excited to do. So that's it for the organization portion. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Don't forget to give it a like if you liked it, and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. And don't forget to go to therapy and read a book this week. I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.